I think the danger in the slow transition is just like the danger in politicizing masks. Our current president is very willing to put the country at risk, our health and our safety at risk by politicizing mask wearing. He's doing the same thing with politicizing the transition. If he believes that the courts, and he has touted the number of jurists he's put in place during his administration, if he trusts the courts, then he should proceed with the transition. And if the courts that he believes in overturn the election, so be it. Nothing is lost. But by the fact that he is refusing to allow the potential transition means that he's willing to put our country's safety at risk. The 9/11 Commission spoke very clearly that the delayed transition put our country at risk. And the only thing I can think of is that he's putting his needs above the needs and the security of our country.
Stephanie, let me push back a little bit on that. Shouldn't the legal fight continue until, I mean, Joe Biden even said in the debate, real quick, Joe Biden even said during the debate, he was asked specifically, should he tell his supporters to hold off until the actual vote is certified? And he said yes. And so it technically hasn't been certified yet. So what's the reaction there?
I appreciate the technicality that has nothing to do with whether or not the transition can proceed. President-elect Biden can have the security briefings that he is entitled to on a daily basis without having anything to do with taking away from the president's day in court or the potential certification. Has nothing to do with that. Vice President Biden can be given the office space President-elect Biden can be given the office space that he's entitled to and start the process of transition with nothing being lost. This is money in the budget that is for transition. If by chance the courts overturn the election and our current president is in for a second term, nothing is lost because that money is appropriated for transition.
There's a lot of folks in this country, half the country, that did not vote for Joe Biden that's really paranoid and scared about like national mask mandates, the federal government telling us what we're going to do. I mean, everybody's getting obviously sick and tired of COVID, and I think they're feeling like the federal government's going to just really clamp down to the point where it's going to be even worse for their liberties. What do you say to people like that?
I say to people like that, please wake up. Wake up, look at yourself in the mirror, and understand that you have an independent mind. You can make decisions that actually make common sense. You would not go to a doctor and have someone perform surgery without them wearing a mask. Your dentist even wears a mask. Why? Because it is to reduce or restrict the spread of unwanted germs. The same thing is with masks. And with respect to infringing on our freedoms, the federal government does that on a daily basis. I have a lead foot. I like to drive fast. What does the federal government say? No, there are speed limits. And while you're in your car driving the speed limits, you must wear a seatbelt. Now, I do like seatbelts. I wouldn't, not wear a seatbelt. But if I had a problem with the seatbelt, or a helmet in many cases, those are freedoms that are being restricted. Why? For the greater good. So I tell the people that you're talking about, wake up, use your brain. You know better.
There is a fine line. We only have about 10, 15 seconds, but there is a fine line between, what's freedom and what limits your freedom. And, it's always been a tricky situation.
Not when deaths are concerned. There's no tricky situation there.